Very good afternoon. I'd like to present this video.
In situations where there is a small pupil along with vitreoretinal pathology, proper visualization of the cataract and also the posterior segment becomes an issue. And when pharmacological dilatation fails, mechanical pupil expanders such as iris hooks, Malugin ring, the eye ring, or the recently introduced BHEX hexagonal pupil expander comes into play. We present 3 cases of combined phaco-vitrectomy that were managed with the BHEX. The first patient is a 60-year-old male having cataract with vitreous hemorrhage. We started the cataract surgery as usual, staining the capsule with trypan blue, and then as we proceeded with the phaco, the pupil started playing tricks. Meiosis forced us to stop and consider placing a pupil expander. We injected viscoelastic to form the anterior chamber, taking care not to overfill and push the iris towards the capsule. The BHEX was placed in the anterior chamber and was easily placed to engage the pupil and ensure pupillary dilatation. At this stage, one has to be careful not to engage the capsular margin. Following this, we proceeded with the routine steps of phacoemulsification, and a multi-piece intraocular lens was placed. The hexagonal pupil expander we were using gave us a wide view of the posterior segment. It revealed a dense vitreous hemorrhage. On clearing up of the vitreous hemorrhage, we could see a large break and adjoining branch retinal vein occlusion. Laser was performed around the break and along the distribution of the branch retinal vein occlusion. This was followed by fluid air exchange and tamponade with C3F8 gas. During all these maneuvers, the BHEX was stable in the anterior chamber, and on completion of the posterior segment maneuvers, it was time to remove the pupillary expander, which was disengaged from the pupillary margins and removed, completing the surgery. The next patient was a 56-year-old gentleman who had undergone a vitrectomy in the past for a diabetic tractional detachment, and he came back a few months later with an inferior detachment due to PVR. He was on tamsulosin, and as the pupil was around 3.5 mm, we decided to place a BHEX for the surgery. The BHEX was placed in the anterior chamber and the pupillary margins were engaged with the flanges. And then we proceeded with the cataract surgery. The good view provided by the pupil expander ensured that the phacoemulsification wasn't difficult. After completion of the phacoemulsification, the intraocular lens was placed and we decided to close the main wound with a suture. Next, it was time to examine the fundus. It was a silicone oil filled eye and the fundus was nicely visible due to the wide pupillary dilatation. We removed the silicone oil initially. The PVR that caused the inferior tractional detachment was in the extreme periphery, but it was nicely visible because of the pupillary dilatation that was provided by the pupil expander. We utilized the light pipe to dissect and release some of the peripheral membranes, and then the remaining membranes were removed with the vitreous cutter. We utilized the space between the margin of the intraocular lens and the pupillary margin that was engaged by the pupil expander to facilitate the peripheral dissection. Without this pupil expander, the peripheral dissection would have been almost next to impossible. On completion of the dissection, we created a retinotomy and fluid air exchange was done. This was followed by adequate laser and finally silicone oil was injected for tamponade. At completion of the posterior segment maneuvers, it was noted that the BHEX was firmly in its place and did not budge. It was now time to remove the BHEX. which was easily disengaged and removed. This is the postoperative Optus image at 1 month, and the patient had a visual acuity of 624. The third patient was a female of 34 years. She was a one-eyed lady and had undergone a retinal detachment surgery in her only eye 10 years back. This time, she came with a complaint of decreased vision for a period of 1 month. As she had no resources for the surgery, we decided to cut costs by using a rigid IOL. Hence, a sclerocorneal tunnel was made. She had an atrophic looking pupil, and we injected viscoelastic into the anterior chamber, taking care not to overfill and push the iris back towards the capsule. The BHAX was initially placed in the AC, and then the margins of the pupil were engaged. We decided not to do a stretch pupilloplasty, as we were sure that the hexagonal pupil expander would easily expand the pupil, having used it in a number of similar cases. With the properly dilated pupil, phacoemulsification wasn't difficult at all. On completion of the phacoemulsification, the rigid PMMA IOL was put into the capsular bag, taking advantage of the long diagonal of the hexagonal pupil expander. The entry wound was closed, and it was now time to move on to the posterior segment. The fundus was adequately visualized with the hexagonal pupil expander in place. After ensuring that there was no vitreous, a retinotomy was made and fluid air exchange was performed. This was followed by adequate laser, and finally we put in 5000 centistop silicone oil for tamponade. On completion of the posterior segment maneuvers, the BHAX was disengaged with an intraocular forceps, and it was easily removed through the side port. Even with all these manipulations, we found that the BHAX retained its memory very nicely. Patient currently enjoys 6/18 vision. To conclude, combined phaco-vitrectomy with small pupil could be easily managed in these patients, and the pupil expander was stable throughout the surgery.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chakravarti. Any questions?
So, were there any complications in any sort with this ring that you found in your series?
Not really, because we've done a lot more cases. These were, just the initial ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and actually, I graduated onto doing the combined surgeries after having, utilized BHAX in phacoemulsification. So, it was just a step forward in a sense.
So, as you showed that from the aphakic part also you could manage to do certain procedures.
Yeah.
So, was that also a disadvantage that in sometimes, the edge of the lens, is visible and it causes, sometimes the break is right there and, there are some issues with visualization, if it's too dilated with the BHAX. And are you able to titrate that dilatation with the BHAX or it's fixed?
No, it's not titrate. You cannot titrate it. But having said that, I like in this case, because it was right near the aura. This is not what I had planned for, but suddenly I realized that I could see through that part. So I focused through that part, and the dissection became easier. So that was a kind of a bonus for me at that point of time.
And any cases you use gas?
These cases, actually, the first case was gas was used. The second and the third cases, silicone oil was used.
So in any case, do you feel that over pupillary dilatation may cause some of the gas to come into the AC? I mean, any of those cases?
Prior to you are talking about the fluid gas exchange, I guess.
After air fluid exchange.
No,
yes.
it didn't come out actually. It didn't come out.
Any particular reason for using 3-piece IOL?
3-piece IOL. Well, no particular reason. One was a PMMA lens. That was
Yeah. There was a you used 3-piece IOL in first and second case.
Yes.
Any particular-
That was actually the patient chose because of the cost, you know.
okay, no particular reasons.
No,
for
no,
that.
sir, no, sir.
And these were valved cannulas which we were using for vitrectomy?
Mostly we use valve cannulas.
Because I think first two cases it was not with the fluid infusion line, and the third one there was an infusion line.
No infusion line, because these were in all cases infusion lines were there, sir.
No, before before starting phaco, they had put.
Might have been cut out, but
do
actually
you plug that? No.
no, sir, no, sir.
No, these are valve
y-
cannulas.
Yeah, these are valve cannulas.
And in the second case where you had inferior
yes, sir.
traction and detachment, did you consider any buccal, belt buccal?
Sir,
No.
generally, sir, we don't do, because nowadays with current 25 gauge vitrectomy, you can go right up to the periphery and dissect without leaving any trace of. And this patient, in fact, is doing good, and it's all more than a year since he's had his surgery.
And that 5000 centistroke oil,
yes, sir.
have you removed it, or it's
No, sir.
636 with the oil?
With the oil, sir, because she's one-eyed, and so we are still scared to remove it.
I can understand. Thank you so much,
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Chakravarti. The next film will be from